This is TWiT.
Here's some T-Double news, and this is actually IoT. I think IoT interesting news. Verizon and T-Mobile both offer residential internet using their 5G networks, which, unless you are near, I think, a 5G tower with ultra wideband, the mid band, the low band, I don't think is fast enough. That's just LTE, or maybe you're lucky and you've got the millimeter wave. But if you're near a fast enough 5G tower, these are pretty good deals. My daughter lives in Marin. And I noted, I had a Verizon phone there, and I said, wow, you're really, you're right, you're getting ultra wideband, and it's fast. So when it was time to get her internet for a new apartment, instead of getting Comcast at $60 a month, I already have a Verizon account. I was able to get $25 a month, get this Verizon wireless.
With femtocels?
No, yeah, it's not a femtocell because it's not for your cell phone. It's a little Wi-Fi receiver that uses the 5G, but it's 380 megabits down, and I've been doing tests all through the day.
Not? Yeah.
19 megabits up for $25 a month.
Why not? Yeah.
Now, there's a couple of catches. One is it is not as maintainable, there aren't as many settings. For instance, to protect my privacy, I use Next DNS for my DNS provider and do a lot of blocking at the house. You can't change your DNS provider. Verizon clearly wants all that private information.
Data.
There's a good data in there.
That's data.
And it's pretty clear Verizon doesn't want you to modify the DNS settings. So it's a very limited, it's not a great, but it's $25
on your phone?
No, it's because, she's on her, okay.
No, I'm saying if you have a Verizon phone, could you modify it?
Well, I don't know about the phone, but you could certainly, if you're using this thing, on each computer that connects to it, you could use NextDNS individually. So you can't modify it the router. But nevertheless, even if you do, Verizon knows it's you and they know what you're doing. So, you know what? Verizon's got a lot of information from that. T-Mobile just announced. Now, one of the things Verizon said is, this is an introductory rate. We reserve the right to increase it.
Okay.
T-Mobile just said.
That's what they normally do, right?
We're going to give you in-home internet. They announced this today for $50 a month, and we're never going to change the price.
Oh.
And if you're already a customer, $30 a month.
Jeez.
So this is disruptive, I think. Now, Stacey, you're the IoT expert.
Shots fired.
But I do feel like if you live in an area with 5G ultra wideband, or as T-Mobile calls it, ultra capacity, this is a very good choice for that price.
Yeah, it sounds like a good. I don't know how it deals with IoT, but it does deal with broadband.
Well, these are IoT devices, really, right?
No, they're routers.
Well, I call a router. This may be a nomenclature issue, but I think anything that goes on the internet that is not a computer is an
Leo
IoT
Laporte.
device. But okay.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Oh man.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, from a broadband perspective, this is good.
Huge. It's competition.
It's competition. It's also for this are they using 28 megahertz? Are they using the mid-band for this?
They must be because my daughter, like I said, 380 megabits down, 19 up, rock solid day and night, even during commute hours. She's near Highway 101. I imagine they have towers right there. So she's probably very proximate to a 5G UW tower.
Yeah, sounds good. You should buy it. That's what you should do. You should check T-Mobile and Verizon and make sure you're getting that 5G.
I'm not.
Now, T-Mobile's offering 15-day home trial. And
I thought that was actually pretty disruptive because it's not like you can normally test broadband.
How else would you know?
Yeah. So now you can actually just very easily bring this in and be like, hey, is this going to work for me? Boom.
They lock it in for life for both home and business. The $30 a month is not, I know, locked in, but it's for existing Magenta Max T-Mobile customers. They will also give you $50 off any streaming device, including Apple TV. So it's kind of to encourage that. They give you 50% off YouTube TV for a year. So this is a arrow aimed at the heart of the cable companies. And they give you they'll help you cancel your existing
some fees
up to $500 in early termination fee coverage.
Yeah, this
is like Comcast, come and get us.
DirecTV did this years ago too.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
When they came in, they said, "You know what?
We'll
We're
pay
going to
your
give you
termination
this."
fee. Yeah.
Good move.
So I think this is pretty amazing. You should check to see if you're eligible. Verizon did not charge for the router or the equipment. There was zero cost for that. Same with T-Mobile. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I would just look at the reviews for how it behaves like in rain and other kind of events. Yeah. If they're in the mid-band, they should be fine. But that's just something to think about, because as you get up into those higher spectrums, they attenuate faster. So they don't go through as many walls and bushes and trees.
Well, but Verizon does want you to put it near a window, although I tested it in a variety of positions in our apartment. It worked fine, worked the same almost everywhere. Let me just do I've been doing speed tests on it. I can do a remote speed test on it. I've been doing speed tests on it just to see if it's affected by time of day, because that was the other concern is that, maybe
who's on?
Yeah, maybe if, the commute hour and everybody's on that tower, maybe that's not so good. So I'll just run a quick speed test while we're talking.
My T-Mobile signal is not very good in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, and I hate that.
You'd have to be somewhere, and that's mostly urban areas, where you're going to get high speed.
But this motivates them to put in more.
Well, they are rolling out.
I was going to say, this isn't the same as your mobile. I mean, I don't know if they're using the same spectrum for their mobile 5G as they are for their in-home.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I thought they were doing
something different, huh?
Their mobile 5G is actually in the lower megahertz, because they were using but I don't remember. So
here's the deal. Verizon, I don't know about, but I do know a lot about T-Mobile because I'm a T-Mobile customer in my main phone. They rolled out the 700 megahertz 5G almost universally. But that's LTE speeds. And
no. Okay. But that spectrum is going to be way better. It's more crowded and they have tinier channels. So they are doing it at LTE speeds, but that's because their channels aren't wide enough. Oh,
so they could be faster down the road, you think?
Probably not, because they don't have at 700 megahertz. I think your channels are limited to either 10 or 20 megahertz wide.
Right.
So, but for the in-home, if they're using the mid-band, then they're going to be using 28. And those channels are freaking huge because no one's there. So then you could have 100 megahertz channel. And then that means you can pack as many bits as you can in each of those megahertz, right?
Right.
So when you say LTE speeds, that's sort of true, but the underlying technology, 5G is actually really LTE release 15 through 20.
Right.
So
I have noted, though, when I get the 5G UW on my Verizon phone or the 5G UC on my T-Mobile phone, that's when I get those speeds. Maybe someday they'll be on the low band as well, but I really think it's the mid band that they're using for both.
Here, we should be able to find that out.
Yeah, would you? Because I'm curious.
Service.
It's it's kind of very easy to set up. You can see the signal strength of it, on the app. You can, it's really kind of an amazing. It has Ethernet ports, so I connected her iMac directly to it, so she could get the highest speed possible. But the limitations are.
Here it is.
Go ahead.
Their home internet is 1900 megahertz. They're using 1900, 17, 700, 2100, 600, and 600. And 2.5. So
this is using everything.
They're actually most of it's low band.
Interesting.
So it's all the same. Huh. So good for them. And I'm wondering how many megahertz they have at the mid band.
Again, I was getting pretty consistently about 380 megabits down and 19 up, which is honestly, 320 down. I just did the test. 19.3 up. Latency's a little high, 20 milliseconds latency.
Ooh.
So you couldn't do the show from it?
Well, I don't know what the jitter is.
I'd have to. Worse.
20's not awful. Milliseconds. That's, that's 1/50th of a second. Download again 320, upload 19.3. Yes. Anyway, I think this is actually, I'm thrilled to see it. I really feel like T-Mobile's heralding it as Internet Freedom Day. But I really think it's a shot against the cable companies. People are starting to cut the cord. And this gives them a way to do that. I think that's great.
I'm still going to stick with the stupid cable company.
Well, I have to too, because I don't have.
Yeah, I do too.
At home, I don't have anything like that.
Personally, I'm spoiled by the speed, the download speeds, and being able to watch these streaming services that I watch in very, very high quality is quite nice. So there's value in it for me. What was that?
What was that?
That's just me singing.
It's a good thing you're good at IoT.
Aliens. That was her secret signal.
Sorry. That was my excited, like, I got to nerd out. I feel like I offer the most value when I'm like, oh, here's a deeply nerdy topic I can offer some insight.
That's why I brought it up. Change the subject.
Thank you.
Make you feel better.
That and pointing out that routers are not IoT devices.
I think they are.
With this,
why is that not an IoT device?
Okay, look, if we define everything as not being a computer, then we have to say, well, what's a computer? I mean, my Nest thermostat is actually like a server because it's making. I mean, so basically, when I think IoT devices, I think more modern.
No, everything's devices. A computer, but I'm saying no display, no keyboard, no mouse, no direct user interface. I guess the thermostat has a user interface. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sure, if you want to call it an IoT device, but I certainly don't write a lot about it.
Go ahead, be wrong. Go ahead, be a fool. It's all right with me. Don't
I think my sense of it, calling an IoT device, comes from more about security.
Yeah, the security people do this all the time, and it kind of drives me nuts because they're like, IoT devices are a huge problem. And
it's
people
really
are like,
routers.
oh, no, they're like, my light bulbs. And I'm like, it's not your light bulbs. It's your 20-year-old network DVR, your 15-year-old printers, and your 10-year-old routers that are the issue.